why we stopped at Browell.
Hey,
So that
whatever it takes to give
whatever
these
we had to
people water,
do to
I'm-
fix the
I'm
water
willing.
lines, we weren't wasting money paving and ripping it up and then having to rebuild it. So that's why it stopped. Otherwise, Mason Street would have been paved from the end of Browell all the way to the bridge into 22B. But we did not do that because the money we saved so that we could do it after the project. So it'll be pushed across the road. You'll have a loop. So basically, yeah, we'll go down and serve Wixon Ave. There'll be 2 laterals serving Trombley's homes, and then, like I say, it goes back across the road, back to the main on the other side. So, you know, I've spoken with both of you about easements, because we do need those 2 easements in order to make that happen. Unless something's changed on that's the approved plans from the Clinton County Health Department.
And how much is the easement that you need?
I don't have it right in front of me, but I want to say, God, I hate saying it if I don't have it. Was it 30 feet? Do you recall? I think it was 30 feet. I don't want to be, wrong, but I think it was 30 feet. 30 feet was the easement.
So that shortens my lot right up.
Right. And what we always
No,
do.
you still own your lot, it's
Yeah.
just an
It
easement.
just gives them a.
Just give them right to dig and-
It's just a right away.
Right. And we don't do it, we won't be doing it in the middle right through it, because that's your buildable part. So it actually goes from the property line in, if I remember right, that's what I had, is it goes from the property line in because of your side setbacks on zoning, depending on, Howard, is that 15 feet on their side setbacks out there? So that way, 15 feet of it wouldn't be buildable land anyways. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to have that side setback. So that way we're only encroaching into your building area of about 15 feet rather than a 30 feet. If that answers your question.
Something happens, you need more than 15 feet to get equipment in there
No,
to
no.
fix it.
No, it's 30 feet, to the best of my recollection, but I'm saying the encroachment into the building area, that was your question, would be about 15 feet, not 30 feet.
So if someone wants to put something there, it's not gonna be long enough to put, say, a 7-foot home.
I don't know what the dimensions of that lot are, I don't have them right in front of me.
The one on the corner down from Wayne's on the right side of the
All
road.
down from Lane's.
Yeah, I really have to look at
I
that
believe
building
it's
lot
100
size.
by 100
100 by 100,
or 100 by 150.
so 15 feet on the other end. That's 30, yeah. Yeah, if it's 70-foot trailer, it would affect it. Actually, with a 100-foot lot, if you take the 15 feet setback on each side, that's 30 feet, so now you're down to 70, you're building. If you encroach in that by 15 feet, it definitely would encroach into that 70 feet area. So it would have to be a shorter, I guess that would be the word, shorter.
Or maybe it could be put on at an angle.
No, you have to worry about it when you get it, if we,
It's something to work with you on, that's for sure. But that is definitely, I mean, the project's dependent on those two. Any. Okay. Town clerk?
You skipped safety and codes.
Oh, I thought we just did that. Go ahead.
Still going on everything that keeps coming in. One thing, last meeting I was asked to do a reevaluation of this room for occupancy. I did it, I posted it, it's no longer posted. I will repost it, but do not take it down. That is required to be up by law.
There's one right there, it says 60 people.
That is incorrect. That's why I was asked to repost it, to reevaluate and repost. and it was.
Are you doing this side of the room
This side.
only?
Yes.
Every table or chair or anything else you put in changes the
Yeah.
fire rating.
It was never redone after this stuff and everything else came in here.
So, what do you have a number for? You have a number of people yet that can be in this room?
I do, but I don't have it on the top of my head.
Anything else?
That's it for me.
Alright, got nothing from the assessor, planning board, I heard nothing, dog control, I haven't had anything.
Can you go back to me for a minute?
Oh, now you wanna talk? Go
My
ahead.
turn. You all have a copy of the preliminary budget, and there's a resolution for that tonight. I do have some extras, but what do you wanna call it, for the town board until they pass the preliminary budget, then they'll be available.
Thank you. Okay, attorney? So, I think I covered most of what I had to cover over the last hour or so that we've been talking about everything else. Like I said, the biggest thing was to let you guys know where we're at with the projects. Also to let you know what's going on with a couple other issues that we had. So, the only one we didn't really talk about in depth was Mason Lane. Mason Lane, I have sent that back to, actually Ron did, from the Bird, sent that one back to the Clinton County Health Department. They ended up breaking that up into phase 1, phase 2. LaBerge did not charge us for any of that work. They just did what they needed to do to get it broken into a phase 1, phase 2. It was approved by the Clinton County Health Department as a phase 1, phase 2 now too also. Alright. What that allows for, okay, we all know that the bids came in much higher than expected on the Mason Lane project. We had discussed two things. See what we could cut out of it to shorten it down, or shorten the price down, or make the price smaller. When we reached out to one of the two contractors that bid the job, asking if there was anywhere they thought we could cut, the savings they came up with was about $16,000, almost $17,000. Okay, so it was not significant enough to change what the cost of the project would be to those residents at Mason Lane. So the only other viable or solution, okay, that's not the word I wanted to use, but the only other solution that we could came up with was to break it into phase 1, phase 2. So basically, by doing phase 1 as the back side, which would be where it's a P right now on the back, looping that in, finishing that circle. Alright, most of the homes that are complaining that are back there are on that far right hand side, which means as everybody uses water down that line all the way around that P, of course they're the last ones to get pressure or water. So by bringing that line, the extra 600 feet or so it is, over to back to the main, it will allow water to be pulled from both directions. So instead of those last two homes being the 8 homes and lined on that P, now nobody will be more than 4 houses out because that water can come out of the main and go both directions. Alright, so the other thing is at the same time, probably raising pressure in a line by about 2 to 3 pounds over, you know, a couple, 3 weeks, because you don't want to put too much undue stress on that and break the old floor that's in the middle. So we'll probably do that in increments of about 2 or 3 pounds until we can see if we can get that pressure up a little bit. But the connection at the end will give you more volume to the people there on that backside. It also allows that the engineering that was completed and accepted by the health department will be viable for years to come. So if it's 5, 6 years from now, when actually it's about 8.5 years from now, I think, before their whole bond is done and paid for over at Mason Lane. So say 8, 9 years from now, if they want to invest in that center section and replace that, at least the first bond will be paid for at that point in time. Alright. I would look at it myself, maybe 4 years out from when that bond is paid for, because at that point in time, it's going to take about 1.5 years, 2 years to get it up and running again and get it out to bid and to get some kind of pricing on how much it's going to cost. But the good thing is at least everything will still be approved, and you don't have to go through that whole process of engineering approval and health department approval and all that stuff. All right. So if we do that, we should be able to pay for that with the ARPA funds without issue. We will know better once we put it out to bid. So that'd be my suggestion, to put that Mason Lane back out to bid for that phase 1 project in the back only. That's that. I had one other thing. I had a lot, but
How much
I don't
money do we have to put towards that right now?
well, I think we're gonna end up somewhere about 180,000, I would say. We had about 500. Well, we still got over 500 because we had over 500,000 from ARPA money. So that still should give plenty of money. Cause I picked up an extra. We had preliminarily allocated those funds to Rixon Ave, Macy Lane, and the splash pad. Splash pad was like 40. God, don't quote me.
48?
46, I think.
46?
Maybe it was 48. You could be right, Mr. Buckman. But I just got, when I applied for the smoking bill, what the heck was the name of that thing? Down at the county, I just got another $8,000 from them.
Tobacco grant.
Thank you,
isn't it?
Reggie. That's it.
I don't
I couldn't, it's slipping my mind.
Yeah.
Getting old. So the tobacco grant, we ended up getting, just ended up sending all the paperwork over for that because we just got the 2 pallets in, which was enough to put us over the limit. That's another, but it's another grant that's the same way. You have to spend the money before they give you the money. Okay, so now we're able to turn that over to the county so that they can pay us out of that tobacco grant, that 8,000 that we got. So that actually reduced the project a little bit. 40, 80, 180, 102, 220, still quite a bit of money. You know what I'm saying? We're still looking at probably another 600,000 if we had to, you know, use it in Rixon Ave. I'm hoping there's nowhere near there, but we don't know. Last figures were, you know, 100 and something thousand, 140,000, but the estimates, the way they're coming in after COVID and all the money that's out there from the state and the feds, and the contractors know that if you want to get your project done, you're gonna pay for it. So, you know, I don't control pricing on that. JCEO, I was asked by a couple of board members to look back into that, and I also, after Lisa had left, after our last work session on the budget, I asked her to bring something, I typed something up that would definitively in black and white tell us what the services were gonna be, how many hours they were gonna be here, and how much it was gonna cost. Okay. So I'll hand these all out to the board. And I know that for the most part, you guys have made your mind up that you didn't really didn't think we were getting our money's worth kinda out of it. But I wanted to bring this back up to you. So yep. Just so everybody's aware. So this was the correspondence. JCO would like to thank you and the members of the town board for your continued support of the town of Schuyler, from the town of Schuyler Falls, or of the town of Schuyler Falls JCEO Community Outreach Program. Community outreach worker provides multiple services to the residents of the town of Schuyler Falls. These services include, but aren't limited to, application assistance for winterization, Empower, heat, WIC, SNAP, public assistance, emergency services, and Christmas Bureau, assistance with food pantry, coordinating of rural transportation and information, and referrals to any services that a family or individual may need. JCEO provides provides food, gas, mileage, other staff, and all necessary program supplies to provide services to the community. The community outreach worker collaborates with a wide variety of community partners to ensure we are providing the best possible assistance to the families, individuals in your community. The community outreach worker will be in the Schuyler Falls Outreach Tuesday from 8 o'clock in the morning till 3:30 and Wednesday from 8 o'clock till noon for a total of 12 hours per week, with the exception of vacations, illnesses, holidays, and trainings. JCEO has 12 paid holidays in a calendar year, 3 mandatory all-staff meetings, and an annual heat training. I am enclosing a holiday schedule, which I see to all you in the back, so that'll tell you what days those holidays they won't be here. As you prepare your budget for the next year, we hope that you will consider your contribution to, which is in the amount of $12,822 this year, to cover a portion of wages, increases, fringe benefits. Okay, we are available to answer any questions that you may have, and we would gladly attend one of your regular meetings to provide the information that we can. JCEO appreciates your continued support and look forward to working with you again next year. Now, as it stands right now, because we do have a preliminary budget, the only time that we can change this budget would be at the public hearing on the budget, and that is
November 9th.
11/28.
No, November 9th. Did I not put
Says
them
special,
on?
no, it says 11. Am I looking
Oh,
at the
no,
wrong one?
I'm sorry, yes, it's 11/9.
Okay. 11/9 of 2023. That would be at 6 p.m. at the public hearing.
5:30 public hearing,
Yep.
special meeting after.
So, yes, the public hearing will start at 5:30, and again, the special meeting will start at 5:45. Our regular monthly meeting will be at 6 p.m. So,
Can I just say something about the JCO?
yes, ma'am.
There's a lot of people in the town that come for the vote every Tuesday. And if they have to go to Blacksburg, they have to wait outside an hour to 2 hours to get in. There's a couple that are here, actually there's 4 that are here. And if older people have to wait outside, it's not right, when we can do it right here in the town. I really think you should keep it in the town. I really do. You don't, I think you're gonna find if you get rid of it, for one, it's gonna be horrible for the voting season. I mean, it's time to vote and people aren't gonna like that. And there's just a lot of people that come and they need it. And I think you should leave it here. Anybody else want to say anything?
I agree.
I agree. Trying to wait outside in Plattsburgh, you're outside and the cold doesn't matter 2-3 hours, and then sometimes you can't even get in because they've run out of supplies, so you have to come back the following week.
And they don't care if you have a child or if you're 90 years old. They make you wait outside. They don't care. So,
That's the same outfit that we're talking about for here, right?
right. And here, they come in, 10 o'clock. They come in and they get their food or whatever they need. And they don't wait outside.
And that's at the Plattsburgh one, or?
Yeah. Plattsburgh
that's-
down, I don't know
that's-
where it is. I've never been there,
It's in Margaret.
so I have no idea.
Technically, it's Turkey.
Okay, so that's probably town of Plattsburgh, or the city of Plattsburgh?
That's, everybody goes there.
Right.
Everybody in the county goes
And
there if the towns don't have
Right,
it.
I'm just trying to figure out that whoever is in charge of the building, is it their home office, or is this an outreach center in the city of Plattsburgh?
They can go out there when it's Salvation Army too, don't they?
It's the outreach?
I believe
So, so the time that you're allowed in and out is controlled probably by the building owner.
And if they
or
need
whatever.
clothes, that's all you have to do is tell her what size and she gets it for you. You don't have to go into town.
Well, what other towns have it, Crystal?
Every town has it, pretty
Okay.
much.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
I'd
don't
like
know
to
of
see
any
it
town that
restored here
doesn't.
too.
Huh?
I'd like to see it restored back in the budget
Yeah.
too.
It wasn't the budget, it was the operation.
And again, I fought to get this into the town. And Kevin finally agreed, finally. Nobody else before Kevin would have agreed to do this.
say that.
I shouldn't say finally. But anyway, so we decided to do it. And absolutely, it started out, it was gonna be, in fact, originally, it was supposed to be Monday through Friday. We said, well, the town offices are closed on Friday. Can you be here Monday through Thursday? Absolutely. It started out Monday through Thursday, then it went 3 days a week, it's 2 days a week. And like, they gave us this holiday schedule, and they're gonna be here on Tuesday and Wednesday. And again, it's just something I would wanna look into, because there's only one holiday on Tuesday, July 4th. All the rest are Mondays or Fridays. So why would that affect our Tuesday, Wednesday
I don't think
days
it-
here?
I don't think it will. She was just being fair and
Yes,
saying these
yeah.
are the holidays that they are
Well,
not
it
available.
almost sounded like they won't be here for the holidays or when they're in training. And again, it's something that I
That's
need to
correct.
talk to her about.
But then, in fairness, she was telling you what holidays they take off. If it doesn't affect our day, then it won't affect our day.
Right. Now, like, for instance, today, okay? They changed the nutrition program, and somehow people were here looking to get,
There was one person, I was here till 11 o'clock.
well, I'm just saying,
Yeah, there
people
was
came
one
to
different
look for it.
person. The girl
It wasn't
wasn't,
their fault either because they just changed it
Yeah.
last week and they didn't have an extra driver.
Right,
so it was
but
just
all I'm
very
saying
crazy.
is, I don't have a problem with the program. I
this
don't have
lady
a
that
problem
came
with the
today's
funding.
never been here before, so
No,
she
okay.
didn't know.
Well, I don't have a problem with the funding or the program, except, like Kevin said, I have a problem with somebody saying they're gonna be here 2 days or 3 days a week, and from certain time to certain time, and then without even,
Or getting water at their house and can't get water.
what's that?
Like this lady can't get water.
Well, no, it's same, but what I'm saying is, if you're gonna do a program, I'm absolutely all for it. You gotta be here.
She's normally here though. It's not very often she hasn't been, as far as I know. And I'm usually here on the food days.
Maybe the food day, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, we have to make them space, which is fine. And again, we had to change our capacity because of their desks, the copier, the file cabinets and stuff. So it is taking up some space. I'm still not against the program. If they're absolutely positively they can do it, they can staff us. It just seemed like whenever they were short-staffed, they just,
They took her
Don't worry.
because she's the lowest one on the totem pole.
right, but I mean, so
She
they take
recognized-
her, and we're the ones that.
She knows.
that-
They know.
Those
Lisa
people
recognized
still showed
that,
up here
and
expecting
she goes,
the
I
service.
have,
Not today. They
Not
know.
today, I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
yeah, she was here, she was here.
So
today,
that
'cause
nobody's
I
here,
came
so they
in.
don't get it.
Yeah.
Right.
Could you tell me, where's the nearest one to here?
Town of Plattsburgh.
The town of Plattsburgh?
And you're not gonna get anything there. Usually people are lined
Oh,
up.
yeah, it goes quick,
Yeah.
Goes very quick.
yeah.
Yep.
Does Brew
First
have
comes,
one?
first served.
Brew has
Brew
one,
does,
but
yeah.
again, it goes very
It goes
quick.
very fast.
Because you have your people from the apple
Some
orchard
people
and
come down and
stuff like that.
they get in,
They're-
but there's nothing left.
To answer that question though, Crystal, I did, when I speak to Lisa, she did call me, because I made sure, actually, I called her, to find out. And she goes, you're right. She goes, I wasn't aware, even though I should have been, that we were pulling her for these extra services or back to the office to schedule the drivers for the next shipment and where she had to, where they had to pick the food up and where they're dropping it off and all that. She goes, I will be very, very cognizant of the fact that when I need to pull her, it is absolutely no other reason.
Right.
So, you know, again, there's not much we can do about this tonight. We can look at this, once we get through, again, the public hearing on the budget. And then the board can look at it and decide whether or not they would like to add it back in or not add it back in.
Wasn't it 17,000 something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
they've
got a
got it
good
down.
memory too, Mike. Yeah, it was,
You know, I mean,
it was.
Now it's down to
She
12.
dropped it. I mean, because realistically, that's what we were pretty much telling her, is we see her about a day and a half. And that's all we want to pay for is about a day and a half.
Tuesday.
So she recalculated the figures and that's what she came up
that's pretty
with.
good, I think.
Times the above.
Yeah, so about a $5,000 cut from what they
But you can
were
ask
gonna
her.
charge us this year.
And she probably can get it
Can get it from, yeah.
possible.
But that also is reflective of the realistic hours that she can be.
Yeah. You know, I mean,
So, they're trying to work with us.
Well, it sounds like there might be a wake-up call. Let's
I think it was a big wake
put
up
it
call.
back in and see what happens for the year.
So basically, we did what we set out to do, was to get what we're paying for.
yeah. $5,000 reduction.
Well, we don't want people coming here expecting something and not having it either.
Correct. I agree with
Especially
you.
people that are limited budgets, fixed budgets.
And then if they're on fixed budgets, they have to run all the way to Plattsburgh,
Right.
wait outside for hours to get nothing. You know, so if it's here, I don't know if, Mary, do you know as many times that people came and she wasn't here? Yeah, they usually know when she's here.
Have we contact them?
So one of the things that I did ask, and that was several months back when we started running into, oh, she's not here today. I asked Lisa to send me an email or Mary an email so that we know ahead of time.
And she was
So,
doing, and she was doing that.
and she was doing that. That way, at least we can let people know that she's not gonna be here on.
And if she's not here on
Tuesday
food
or
day, there's a
whatever.
couple of us that volunteer to do it. Anyhow, so at least the people get their stuff.
Right.
You know, they get their food and water, whatever they need.
So, I appreciate you speaking tonight, and appreciate you guys speaking also, thank you. We'll definitely take that into consideration. It's my understanding, because of town law, we cannot change this budget tonight, okay? We have to wait until after the public hearing,
This is tape, isn't it?
and then we can change anything before we adopt the budget,
Okay.
okay? So that's my understanding of the law.
Mike, are we, Mr. McCormick? Is that the way you understand it too? Is
Yeah, I think you have to first have the preliminary budget, and then you still have time to look at it and change it.
After the
that.
public hearing.
Yeah.
I know. That's pretty much the reason why you would hold a public hearing, would be to say, hey, if your residents aren't happy with the budget, are not happy with what's going on, that's their night to come in and say, this is why I'm not happy with it. And this is what I would like to see changed. Okay? It's still up to this board to decide that budget, but you should have a right to speak on behalf of your taxes. I agree with you. So, that's my understanding of the town law, and I would love to say, hey, let's take a vote right now and do that, but I believe that would be illegal. So we'll do that on, what we say tonight, right?
November 9th.
And we'll cover that then.
Thank you.
Okay. I think the last thing here is, this is from CDBG. This is actually the Friends of the North Country, again, October report. So right now, they have 17 applications in progress. This was the $250,000 CDBG grant that the town obtained for residents that need maybe a kitchen upgraded in their house, or a new roof, or whatever. It can't be used because I want to change the color of my carpet. Okay, it's got to be for a specific need. You got to hit the median to low threshold of income. So there are 17 projects that they are working on. They have completed 4 applications so far. The assessment completion of 4 also. Work site scope of work, they've completed 3 of those. Out to bid right now to work on the projects, the 17 they're working on, 3 of them are out to bid. So I will continue to update you on this. This is mandated by part of the CDBG program that we have oversight on it, because even though Friends of the North Country are administering this grant, the grant is given to the town of Schuyler Falls. So it's the board's responsibility to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, and that we're apprised of what's going on, and then we're keeping an eye on what's going on. So that is why I give you these reports every month.
Mr. Randall, could I ask permission to get one of those? Because I've only had one Friends of the North Country come through my office.
Sure. Yeah, I'll give you this one. I can print another one off my computer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Charlie. I gotta hire you as a secretary.
Okay.
She beat me to it, Mike.
Historic, before I forget.
Sit up anyway.
You have anything?
No,
Sit too long, my
October
docket.
is New York State History Month, again, still. And I do have in the front entryway to the town hall, these driving tours of the historic markers in the town. Please, take one of these if you want. So they're there, they've been there for a long while. And call with any questions.
Definitely tell you some history in the town, right?
The only name I know from across the river right so far is Snyder, but I don't think I think that's a current name. A question from those guys.
Yeah, okay.
So, I'm still working on it.
I'm waiting.
Patiently, right?
Like her with her water.
Yeah, really? They had to go there. Right?
Now I can leave.
Very good.
Yeah,
All right,
no problem.
thank you.
We're working. Okay, anything else for unfinished business?
Now we get rid of my anxiety.
New business? Okay, I think that's gonna bring us to the resolution. I should have brought my glasses, these are tiny. Alright, resolution 23-8-4. You'll go see them, Mike.
They're just readers.
Alright.
There's nothing here that I have to.
Cheers.
That's better. Alright, motion by whereas the town board be it resolved to hold a public hearing for local law number 1, 2023, a local law for flood damage prevention as authorized by the New York State Constitution, Article 9, Section 2, and Environmental Conservation Law, Article 36. Whereas the notice of public hearing was posted in the Press Republican and posted on the town clerk's bulletin board, and whereas the public hearing was held on October 24th, 2023, during which time any persons could voice comments for or against local law 23-1, it is hereby resolved that the town board adopts local law 23-1, a local law for flood damage prevention as authorized by the New York State Constitution, Article 9, Section 2, and Environmental Conservation Law, Article 36, and it is further resolved that the town clerk is directed to send the appropriate paperwork to the Secretary of State and the Rural Property Office. So, can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Reggie. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hamel?
Yes.
Mr. Parati?
Yes.
Mr. Facto?
Yes.
Mr. Randall?
Yes. Okay, local law is approved. Alright, next one is, is that 85? Okay. Resolution 2385. Motion by, whereas the resolution was duly adopted by the town board of the town of Schuyler Falls at a regular meeting held introducing proposing local law number 2 of 2023 entitled a local law to override the tax levy limit established in general municipal law 3-C, and whereas the public hearing concerning said local law was duly advertised in the Press Republican, official newspaper of the town, and whereas the public hearing was held on October 24, 2023, and all parties in attendance were permitted an opportunity to speak on behalf of or in opposition to said proposed local law or any part thereof, and whereas the town board of the town of Schuyler Falls, after due deliberation, finds that it is in the best interest of the town to adopt said local law, now therefore it be resolved that the introductory local law number 2 of 2023 entitled a local law to override the tax levy limit established in the general municipal law 3-C and be the same is hereby adopted as local law number 2 of 2023, and the town clerk is directed to enter said local law in the local law book of the town and to give notice of the adoption of said local law to the Secretary of State. Can I get a motion?
Move it.
Sure.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call.
Yeah, yes, please. I had voted no on this before, so I plan on voting no again on it. Okay? Without elaborating too much right now. There was a couple of expenses that had been taken from the unallocated funding, and we had talked about purchasing a vehicle and computer system for the code enforcement officer. And I'm against the idea of taking money out of our savings unbudgeted to do that at this point. So therefore, I plan on, if we're going to continue doing this, I plan on voting no. And that's all I have at this point.
As everybody knows, the unallocated, or should know, the unallocated fund reserves are put there for when you need them. That's what I've been working on for the last 3 years, almost 4 years now, so that we're not bonding to buy things when we need to bond, or buy them. That we already have the money in the general fund and the highway fund, so that when a purchase needs to be done or something needs to be bought or purchased, that the money can be taken out of the unallocated highway fund or the unallocated general fund without raising taxes. It's my opinion that the general public and the residents that live here would much rather have you spend money that you have than spend money that you don't have to raise taxes. So that's why that money's in the unallocated fund reserves, all right?
So it's a savings fund.
Yeah, it's just like you working at home. You save money until you find something that you want to purchase, and then you use it. But it's up to you to decide what you use it on, right? And how much of it you want to keep in there to make sure that you have a healthy savings account. Our savings account is now healthy. All right, roll call.
Mr. Hamel?
Yes.
Mr. Parati?
Yes.
Mr. Facto?
No.
Mr. Randall?
Yes. And again, I don't believe that we're going over that. All right, resolution 2386, motion by, be resolved that the town board of the town of Schuyler Falls pursuant to and in accordance with the provisions of section 106 of the town law approves and adopts the annexed detailed statement of established estimated expenditure and revenues be and the same hereby as the preliminary budget for the year 2024. Such preliminary budget shall be filed forthwith in the office of the town clerk, where it shall be available for public inspection, and resolved that the town board of the town of Schuyler Falls will hold a public hearing to hear comments for or against the year 2024 preliminary budget on Thursday, November 9th of 2023 at 5:30 p.m. at the Town Hall at 997 Mason Street, Morrisonville, with a special meeting to follow for the purpose of adopting the 2024 annual budget, and be it further resolved that the town clerk shall give notice of such public hearing in the official newspaper at least 5 days prior to the hearing, and shall cause a copy of said notice to be posted on the bulletin board and the town's website. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Mike?
Second.
Okay, you got it? Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hamel?
Yes.
Mr. Parati?
Yes.
Mr. Facto?
Yes.
Mr. Randall?
Yes. So cool. Resolution 2387. A motion by, whereas the 2024 Association of Towns annual meeting is scheduled to be held in New York City on February 18th through the 21st of 2024, and whereas Howard Newton, Vic McCaslin, and Matt Russell would like to attend, and money is allocated in the 2024 budget to attend the conference, be it hereby resolved that the town board authorize the attendance of said meeting and expenses incurred in attending conference or chargeable to the contractual account for each department as allocated in the budget. And it is further resolved, the supervisor is authorized to advance funds for pre-registration purchase of travel, hotel, accommodations, and meals for said conference. Under discussion, I just should say, there will not be a bus for the trip this year to New York City. Each attendee will be giving $200 to cover round-trip travel to and from the conference. The attendee will be responsible to secure their own travel arrangements and hotel accommodation. So can I get a motion?
Perfect. Motion. Thank you.
By Mike?
I'll second it, but I do have some in the discussion.
Okay. Discussion?
don't we normally, set up for their hotel accommodations and such?
We can't this year because of the fact that we don't have a credit card to do that right now.
Everybody's gonna have to pay.
They're gonna have to pay for their own and then they get reimbursed.
But again, I mean, so if somebody wants to stay at, the,
There's
highest,
there's a certain hotel that's allotted for the conference.
The only-
It's always been that way.
Right,
Alright, so-
they'll still stay at the same, the only difference is that they'll have to, they will submit a voucher after of their expenses back. So, you know,
Kim,
all right.
that way,
So we will make arrangements for them, they just
No.
ain't under, still can't do that?
No, we can't, they have to, right, Mary? Mary?
so, I didn't hear a question.
They have to make their own travel arrangements to the Marriott and use their own credit card to do that, and they get reimbursed.
with the voucher.
We can give them their food allowance, right?
Yes, we can.
And their travel allowance, and what was the other one?
That was
Just
their conference cost.
Oh, and the registration.
Right.
And we need to add one name to that list. Can we add one name to the list that?
Who is it before we do the resolution?
Ryan Smith for planning board.
Who is it?
And Ryan, you're not up for a couple of years? Good, okay. So the only reason I ask that is because if any elected official wanted to go this year, we wanted to make sure that we didn't approve their travel until after they were reappointed to a position or reelected to a position. Does that make sense to everybody?
The chairman.
Because we don't know who's gonna be where, you know what I'm saying? So, that's the only reason why I put you on the spot, is I wanted to make sure that you weren't up for your appointment. So as long as you're not up, then, yep, I don't have any problem adding them to it, so. I'm just gonna let you up above. All right,
So, further discussion on this.
no, we're all done with. Go ahead.
Many years ago, we had like a group of 20 people that went to New York City for this 4-day event, or 3-day event. And it appears that we may be moving in the same direction again this year.
Could be.
And you see what I'm getting at?
Yeah,
Now,
we don't-
this is the planning board. How about the zoning board of appeals?
Zoning board
Anything
of-
from them?
zoning?
Yeah.
That's what I'm on.
What's that?
That's what I'm on.
He's on. It's the zoning board of appeals.
Oh, okay, okay. You're the only one going from,
Only one that wants to go.
okay, okay. I didn't know the way it was written up, that's all. So, and Howard, you went last year, so you're going in the, for code enforcement training again. And,
Howard's required to take so much training annually to remain a code
I
officer.
understand.
It's just like the judges and the court clerks.
Yeah, the judges and court clerks are also.
They're mandatory training. To have so much hours.
Just started in January.
So obviously, at this point, then, we could actually have 4 town board members who are gonna be going as well. I mean, it's possible,
I would,
depending on
I
who.
would suggest any
you know.
new councilman or
Yeah.
supervisor, because of the comptroller classes alone.
Yeah,
That's why I went with you, Reggie, to Albany
yeah.
for the newly elected official school, which I felt was overwhelming, but very informative. And then New York City, we went to the Association of Towns training. It really did give you a good handle on what your responsibilities were, and especially on comptroller issues on spending
Right
money.
now, we're trying to get the the
But-
early bird pre-registration, which is cheaper right now. We can't get anybody else on until whoever's
Right.
newly elected.
Sure.
So this will basically
We're trying to
see,
save as much as we can right now, getting
This will basically save the taxpayers as much as possible doing the early registration for the ones we know are going to be here
Yeah.
that wanna, okay?
Yeah.
Did that answer the question?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Howard's got a question.
Just clarification, what you were talking about. When I got on the board the first year, I was not allowed to go to New York City until I took the newly elected.
Oh.
And I would suggest the same thing for newly elected, is not to go to New York City because it's gonna overwhelm them. Take that newly elected course first, get that under your belt, and then go down.
Yeah, it's a good one.
No, I had the opportunity to do both.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I don't know when it got
I had the
changed.
opportunity to take the newly elected official school, it worked out so that I could have that accomplished. And then the New York City was, again, after my newly elected official.
Right, but you took the newly elected before New York City.
I did. I know it was like I
When
said,
I
we
joined,
were lucky.
the newly elected was after
Right.
New York City.
Oh, no, no, you did.
It's in January.
We both did the same thing.
I believe the newly elected is in January.
Yeah,
Oh, is it? Okay, good.
so that shouldn't be an issue.
Good.
But, take it for what it's worth, I'm telling you. You're gonna wanna go to the comptroller classes. Alrighty, roll call.
Mr. Hamel?
Yes.
Mr. Parati?
Yes.
Mr. Facto?
Yes.
Mr. Randall?
Yes. Alright, resolution 2388, motion by whereas the Recreation Department would like to purchase a used 72-inch Ferris deck mower with 150 hours, and whereas, as stated in the procurement policy quotes, where, before we'll wait till discussion. As stated in the procurement policy quotes, were received and reviewed for the mower and are attached now. Be it therefore resolved that the mower will be purchased from Taylor Rental in the amount of, and I'm gonna hold off on that until I talk to Sam. Did you end up getting the other,
On the new one,
yeah,
I did get that this afternoon. We originally were quoted in August for a Kawasaki engine. They no
Correct.
longer can get one with a Kawasaki engine. The only thing they can get is identical to what you have in a new one. But the price has gone up and it's, I believe it's like $15,900.
alright, so I'll help you out there, cause I know you don't have the paperwork right in front of you. I do. So, basically you're saying that this, because of the new pricing, and it'll probably go up again in January, I'm gonna guess?
Well, it's already gone up.
Yeah, I know it has, but I would have guessed it's gonna go up again in January. That's when they usually do it. So, it's the same horsepower, 38 horsepower, as a Kawasaki engine. The difference is it's a 60-inch deck, not a 72-inch deck.
Correct.
And
They
it's a,
misquoted that, the 60 inch instead of the 72.
So, is it a 72 or a 60?
The one the used one? Or
No,
the new one?
the new one.
The new one is a 72.
Because this one says 60 on it.
Right, it says 60